Hi everybody and welcome back to the Morinville Community Library. My name is Shelley. So every second month here at the library, we strive to learn a new crafting technique. And this month we're going to jump on to the macrame train and learn how to make some boho leaves. So let's take a look at what we have in our kits. So you're going to find that there's going to be 2 different colors of yarn that is in your kit. There's going to be a branch in your kit. There's going to be a comb. There's going to be 2 templates, and that's everything for your supplies there. Extra supplies that you're going to need is going to be a ruler. You're going to need some scissors, a glue stick, or you can do some white glue if you have that, some tape, any kind of tape will do. And if you happen to have a pet and you've got a pet brush, that will be helpful as well. So let's take a look at how we're going to start this. So if you take a look at your yarns, there's going to be a center one that's holding everything together. One is going to be significantly longer than the other. So this is going to be how we are going to stagger our leaves onto our branch here. So, and it doesn't matter which one goes where. This is completely your creation. So you do as you wish. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab the shorter one. I'm going to grab my branch here. I am going to find my longer one. All right, and we are going to take this and we are going to adhere it to this branch. So what I'm doing is I'm just folding it over, and I am going to go right ahead and pull both of the ropes through. And you're going to see that there is a little bit of a loop on that side there. Now they don't have to be completely even because we will be trimming stuff off of here. So I'm going to move that over this way. You can go with whichever look you desire. I like having the loop on this side, but you can turn it over and you can have it with just these 2 here as well. But I like the look of it this way. So that's what we're going to do with that. So I am going to actually have to remove this paper, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of tape and I am going to just put the width of that right underneath that loop. And if you find that the stick keeps moving around and stuff as well, we can always tape that. So the next thing you're going to do is there should be 10 strands of roping here. 4, 6, 8, 10. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these guys and we're going to loop it underneath your taped strands, just like that. Then you're going to take another one and you're going to loop it in your hand and you're going to bring it over on top of your center strands, and you're just going to reach in and pull those 2 on this side up just a little bit. Let's try that again because I let go of my things here. So you can pull those strands up just enough, and then we're going to take these strands and push them through the loop that we originally had down on the counter there. And now you can see that they've interlocked with each other. We're going to pull that up a bit. We're going to give them a nice tug. And the beauty of this, if you didn't quite catch it on the first one, is we're going to be doing the exact same thing 5 more times. So we're going to create a loop, try and keep these as even as you can. You're going to go underneath your center ropes. Then you're going to grab another strand, create a loop. This one's going over top, and you're going to pull from the bottom those 2 strands. Just get them through the loop there. And on the other side, we're going to push the 2 strands down into the loop that's there already. We're going to give that a bit of a tug. We're going to push that up, and then we're going to tighten it just that little bit more. So again, make a loop, go underneath, even those guys out, grab your next one, make a loop, and you're going over top of your center ones. You're pulling through from the back, and then you're pushing through the other guy. Give it a little bit of a tug. Try and keep these somewhat the same length. Give it a nice strong tug. And we've got a couple more to do. So we're going to loop it. We're going to put it underneath. We're going to loop this one over top. Pull the back strands through. Lay it on. And push these ones down into the loop. Give them a bit of a pull. Straighten out your strands. There we go. One more here. So you can certainly, if you're deciding to do some more of these, you can certainly go further down. You can mix up your colors. You can have something that's two-tone. You can use different fibers. This is 100% cotton macrame roping that we're using here today. And the kits are going to have an assortment of different colors. So not every kit is going to be the gray and the purple. There's an assortment of different colors that were used to put these guys together. So that's all your ropes on there. So the next thing that I found worked for me was to take one of the side strands and one of the centers and just create a knot with that. So that ensures that everything's going to be staying in place. And as we go here, we'll see if we need to do more on the other side or not. So the next step is going to take you a little bit of time, and this is the great part of crafting, is sometimes it does take some patience. But what we're going to do is we are going to gradually unroll each of these strands. And there is approximately 4 main strands to each of these ropings. So that's the first one. This one here. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there's only 3. Well, it looks like this one is only a 3. So that would be what you call 3-ply. Here we go. So you're just going to continue to go down and do all of that on the one side, and then you're going to come over to the other side. And I find it easiest if you start separating it further down, so it's less likely to get tangled, and just keep separating it. And you want it completely separated all the way up to the knot. So I'm going to pause this video, and I am going to take care of that. And I will be back in a moment. Hi, everybody. So we are back, and I have unraveled all of my strands. So the next thing I'm going to grab is you should have a comb in your kit. And what this is going to do is this is going to help fluff up some of these strands here. And it's just something that you work at bit by bit. The more you do, the fluffier it's kind of going to get, the more it's going to look kind of like a feather. You know, these are feathers or leaves. I'm using the thinner or the strands that are closest together on the comb to try and give me the best effect. If by chance you have something that has a knot in it, you're not going to be able to force that out. So you're going to have to just cut it out. But that's okay, because all these other fibers are going to be able to fill in that spot. So it's not something that's going to completely destroy what you're working on here already. It's something that can easily be hidden by all of these other strands. Kind of hard to see that other side there. And that. Bringing it down to the center. And what you kind of want to look at doing is, like I said, I'm calling these ones leaves, or you can call it a feather. And we've got these templates that are here. So this is kind of the shape that we're going for here. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to add some glue to this. We're going to put it behind here to give it some backing. And then we're going to trim it. So I think that's pretty good. You're going to have some different lengths, and that just is what it is. And that. All right. So we're going to lift this gently, pull off that tape. These guys are all settled into here. So let's grab one of these guys, and this is just some random cardboard that I've cut into a shape here to recycle. So you can choose to glue on this side where there is something there, and then you've got a blank piece on the back, or vice versa. It's up to you. I'm going to go this way because, especially with this darker color, for sure, it's going to be well hidden. So, but if you get one of the kits that has like the white or the lighter colors, then you might want to do it the other way. And just give it a really generous bunch of glue onto there. Lift this guy up, put this into position. And we just, let me see, what's the easiest way here? Where's my comb? This is the back side now. I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop it on there. Now don't press it completely. I'm going to put a little more pressure on the top here, but I want to flip it over, and I want to make sure that I'm covering all of that cardboard, because I did it so that you would see some of the what the box was and that. So we want to make sure that we get all of that disguised by the yarn. There we go. It was shaped in there a little bit better. Now we can start pressing it a little more into place. There we go. So we've got it completely covered. We've got it adhered to the back. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to create our shape of our leaf. So I'm going to turn this over. Help. Now you don't want to cut it too close to the cardboard scrap in case you need to even it out a little bit more. I've done this a couple times, so I'm actually closer than I normally would be. And find what works well for you to be able to trim this, because we're going to go back a couple of times to really make sure we've got it evened out. So the further away from the cardboard that you start is almost the best. That one worked out really quite well. Out to the side. And there we go. So you can see you've got your macrame knots into the center there. We've got it already looped onto your branch, and you're ready to go with that one. So next what we're going to do is we're going to grab our other color, and we are going to do the exact same thing, only we are going to measure this one down a bit. So let me just see if I can get this to work again the right way. I think I want to go over top and pull the loop through, pull my strands both through that loop, because again, I want to have a loop on the front here. So for me, that actually took more practice than it did creating the whole rest of the feather. And that, so I found that it was easier to put this right onto the branch first and foremost, but you can do it separately. With this one, you're definitely going to be leaving a bit more space. We're going to be taping it lower. So it is something that you're going to have more yarn to kind of work with. So the next thing you're going to do is, there's two ways you can do this. You can kind of measure down from this other guy here. Let's see, where are we at? About 2 inches. So we can measure this guy here down about 2 inches as well. Or we can eyeball it. And what I'm looking to do is on the gray, I want to start where the knots finish off on this shorter one, so that the feathers are going to be staggered, or the leaves are going to be staggered on the branch here. So I'm just going to leave that there for a moment, grab my tape, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my tape right at the top there. So again, it doesn't have to be exact, but this is what I'm going for, is a staggered look. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to grab our strands and we are going to practice doing our knots again. So I have got this one here. I'm going to go under, loop it in my hand, going to go over top, pull the back ones through that loop, and push the front ones down into the other loop. Give those a little bit of a pull, and you want to just push it up to the tape. And again, that should be starting where the last one's finished off on your smaller feather. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just keep doing the same thing for these ones, and I will be back. Okay, so I've got all my gray strands that are on there, and we are going to repeat what we did on the smaller one. Is we're going to start at the top and we're going to start separating these different plies. And again, I find it easiest to start at the base, so closest to the knots. That's where we're going to start pulling these guys apart. And you're going to do one side, and then we're going to go across to the other side, just like we did on the first one. So I'm going to continue on with that, and I will be right back. All right, so I've got all the strands here separated. And one thing I didn't do before I separated all of those was do my knot at the bottom. So you want to be cognitive of getting that done. Otherwise, everything is going to be sliding off when you start doing the brushing. So we've got the one knot there. I'm going to finish up these last two strands of separating. There we go. It's actually kind of relaxing going through all of these guys. There we are, one more. Start at the base, pull them apart, get one, and then get the other two. And there we go. Everybody is separated. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our comb, and we are going to, let's see, I might have to pull that guy out of the way. Start separating these guys here. And again, if you find something that you've got a bit of a knot, just cut that knot out, because it's going to continue to be a problem. And we will just use all the other strands to help kind of hide that. There you go. It's looking pretty good on that side. So let's go over here. Start at the base closest to the knots. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to comb all of that out. Looks pretty good. And I had mentioned before that if you happen to have, where did I put mine now? I move things around. I don't see it now. I had a pet brush here, but that has a little bit of some finer guys on it to help separate these guys, make it a little bit fluffier. So, but the comb seemed to be doing a pretty good job of it. So we're going to start shaping it down towards the center, like we did before. There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to do a little bit more manipulation with it here as we get it onto that base foundation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my other template. I'm going to give it a really good gluing and choose which side you want to have against the yarn. I'm going to lift this up, take the tape off. I'm going to flip this over again. Give it a little more shaping. Looks pretty good. I want to try and have all the fibers as close together as you can so that when we put our template on, it's going to be covering it really nicely. So again, I'm going to press a little bit more on the top than the rest of it right now because I just want to kind of get that base part started. Then we are going to flip this back over. And this one we can see a little bit more of the cardboard underneath. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to get a little fussier with where these strands are coming down to cover things up. We can grab our comb to do that as well. Get everything well shaped in there. Adhere it all really well to that cardboard underneath. Okay, and then we're going to give it another flip. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that trimming that we did on the other one. So again, when you do your initial trimming, you don't want to be right up against the cardboard. Give yourself a little bit of leeway. So if you have some strands that have kind of gotten out of place, you'll be able to either trim those or sneak them back to where they should be. All right, so let's lift this up a little bit. So I'm going to go a little bit away from the cardboard. Lift this one right up. A little bit further away than I was the last time. Shape that. Come up the other side. Do some shaping there as well. There we are. Turn this guy over. See some strands have kind of just gotten away from us there a little bit. But for the most part, it did pretty good. We've got something here that's a little bit wonky, so this is where we can go in and we can just trim that to the desired shape that we want. And that's looking pretty good. So let me see here. There we go. So we have our two different leaves or our two different feathers that are here. And if you wanted, you could stagger it a little bit more, but that's how mine turned out for here. So you can give this a little bit more of a trim and shaping if you like. I think that's pretty good there. And the last thing that you're going to do here is there should be another strand that is in there. It's going to be something that's a bit thinner than what we've been working with all along. And this is going to be our hanger. So I'm going to turn this and you're just simply going to knot this onto either end. I'm going to create a loop. Let's put my stick right into there. And I'm going to do a double knot on the end. There we go. Come over to the other side here. Create a loop. There we go. Put my stick through that. And knot it off. Give myself a little bit more there so that I can do that second knot. There we go. Okay, I'm going to lay that out, get rid of these strands that are here. Now, something else that you can do as well, and I don't have any here with me, but if you happen to have some spray starch or more likely some hairspray, what you can do is you can just put a gentle mist of some hairspray or spray starch onto the front of your leaves or your feathers. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep these from kind of pulling away from the cardboard and that, and make it a little bit stiffer and hold its shape a little bit better. And that I didn't bring any in here with me today because I didn't want to get it all over the table. But basically, that's our beginner boho feathers or leaves that we're doing here for today. So I found this started to get a little bit addicting. If you take a look on YouTube, you're going to see so many different patterns, so many different effects with different colors and things like that. So, let your imagination go wild with this. But I hope this has given you a beginner look at an old craft that's been around for a while, new rejuvenation. And I'd love to see how yours turned out, or if you've taken it to another level, that would be terrific. Send me your pictures. I'd love to see them. You can send them to the library at our email, which is info@morinvillelibrary.ca. Attention Shelley, boho feathers or boho leaves, whichever works for you. And in your package as well, we're coming into Thanksgiving, so I've got a couple of fun little activities that you're going to find for Thanksgiving in your package as well. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying these kits, and I can't wait for you to see what we're going to do in December. So thank you so much, and have a great day.